Right, you lovely people, back with another video. So today, what I'm going to do, little run through what's in the bag. So a couple of new additions, kind of why I've changed them, kind of things I noticed with the app that I was tracking all my stats with last year. So I'll have a little quick kind of debrief with that and kind of go in why I've changed, like what I brought in different to help, and then I will take you through how I will practice at home. Basically, as it's nice today, I'm going to get the stuff out, I'm going to get the golf net out and the mat and have a little practice at home, and then go from there really. Nothing major, nothing groundbreaking when I'm practicing at home. I use the Rapsodo, just the basic first one they did. So I use that. I haven't got like you'll see in the video, I haven't got like a groundbreaking home setup, but it's enough. And then that version 1 of the Rapsodo just gives me enough numbers to kind of see what's what, kind of how far I'm hitting the ball or carrying the ball, which it never seems to be as far in the net. So I don't know whether that's the fact that it's too close or what, because I know when I've hit driver fairly recently, it's not picked it up at all. And when you've kind of done some reading into it, it's basically because the net's a little bit too close to the flight of the ball that has to fly so far. So I've managed to crack that in this video as well. So that hopefully is going to help. So I will have a little deep dive into that in a minute and kind of what modes I use to help my practice at home. Right, on to the next one. On to the next. So what's in the bag now, going through. So literally last year I went quite top heavy. I put a 3-iron in the bag very, very stupidly, just because I felt like I was striking the ball really well. So I thought 3-iron would be the best thing to put in. I don't know why, as I found out. But it is what it is. You live and learn in golf. So 3-iron, my irons have gone completely. So I had 3-iron down to pitching wedge in the 2019 Wilson CBs. So they've gone. And then I've brought in the 2024 model Wilson CBs just because I feel like it's a really underrated brand. And I just love the product. Really, I think they're class. So this year, 3-iron brought a 60-degree wedge back in. I went down to a 52 and a 56 last year, trying to be clever and be like, oh, I can hit a high toe and open it up and all of this. But to be honest, it just cost me too much around the greens. So 60s come back in, and then 3-iron's gone. So I've got from 4-iron to pitching wedge in the Wilson Staff CBs. Slightly different shaft, it's a little bit lighter, picking more speed up because of it, which is going to help massively in the long run. And then so I'm looking forward to seeing how they perform out on course when I actually get out. But it feels a little bit faster off the face already, so good signs. Top end of the bag, again, make very good irons, but are very underrated in terms of kind of woods. So I've got Mizuno's. I've got the ST Max 230, which is a couple of models. It's not their latest driver, not the latest and greatest driver, but it's a couple of models back. basically put that in the bag because I started duck hooking everything out of bounds and just thought I want forgiveness, and went with that. And then I bought the 3-wood and the 5-wood to go with suit. The 5-wood is my favourite club in the bag. I use it everywhere, going into par 5s into kind of off the tee, even like little bump and runs around the greens, kind of picking it up and just swinging it like a putter. It's kind of changed the game. Like, honestly, hopefully you'll see I'll play a couple of shots with it when I get back vlogging, and kind of you'll see it, like it has completely changed the game for me. And then I changed the putter kind of midpoint, like I was using Arccos to track all my stats, and then my Arccos I think was trolling me because it said that my putting was actually the best part of my game last year. It didn't feel like that at all, but there must be some form of proof in that pudding. But changed the putter again, went from mallet, kind of got the Odyssey kind of number 7, square to square. I think I've played one round with it, so it's a little bit early to tell what my putting's going to be like, but I've been practicing my putting a lot, so hopefully there'll be good signs to come with that. I have, like I've mentioned Arccos, I've just gone over to the Shot Scope version, so Shot Scopes Connect, so I'm looking forward to using that as well to see how that performs. Basically binned the Arccos off because it was just too expensive. Very good, I will say it's very good, but just too expensive for what it is for me, so I'm going to see what's what when I get out with that. But yeah, you'll see some practice swings and how I use the Rapsodo to practice with these bad boys now. Yeah, got everything kind of set up. Nothing kind of mega in terms of kind of what I'm trying to think. I've been doing a lot of kind of drills to get rid of some early extension, so it's just about seeing how I'm getting on with that without thinking consciously about it. I just want to see where it's at and where I am in kind of getting that bedded in, really. So I hit a few warm-up shots with a wedge, kind of, then moved on to like a mid-iron and then started swinging the driver, which I'm impressed, to be fair, because I actually hit the net with pretty much everything. It's always a kind of, I always panic a little bit because I kind of think if I sky one or if I catch it a little bit, I'm putting it through the fence in the back, but they all hit the net, so yeah, it's always good signs with that. If I can find that net in a small proximity, I'm hoping I find more fairways. But what I do with the Rapsodo, I use a virtual range to warm up, just get a feeling of how far everything's flying. Again, I'm not entirely sure how accurate it is because your setup's always a little bit different, but I can only go with what the numbers are on the screen. And then I got into what they call a combine test. So with that, you pick some yardages. I normally go with what I'm weakest at rather than kind of favourites. And then you hit two at one yardage, 2 at another, and then you hit 2 drives and you repeat the pattern, and then it gives you a score out of 100 at the end, basically. And the higher that score is, it reflects like a handicap, or it gives you like a performance handicap. So I did it twice today, so I had 48 shots in total, so nothing mega, like less than a bucket of balls at the range, but I find like I get a little bit more out of it and kind of more of an understanding about my game. So I did it with 60 degree, I hit 65, I hit a 9-iron at 135 in the first one, and then I hit driver. And then the second time I did it, I just moved them up. So 56, I hit 85 yards. I hit an 8-iron at 145, and then I hit my 5-wood. And it, like 5-wood and driver, it's all about kind of pumping it out there and just keeping it in the fairway. As the others are a little bit more target driven, it gives you kind of your lateral dispersion, your front back dispersion, and basically that's what it's working its calculation out on. The bigger the gap is, front to back and then side to side, the worse your score is. So it gives you a really good understanding of where your game's at. So I enjoy doing that when I'm at home. I do go down to the range and hit balls and use a top tracer 30 because I like seeing the ball full in the air. I think that helps. Obviously hitting in close proximity is great, but you've never got a full, like a good understanding of where the ball kind of fully goes. So I like to use them both. So we'll see where we go from here. Hopefully I'll put the scores on. I know with the 5-wood 8-iron and 56 it was at 10.9 I think, and then when I was using the driver it was in single figures, which is roughly where I was at last year. So I'm roughly where I want to be before I start playing and putting some cards in and start competing again. So we're getting there. I'll end the video there with that, and then in the next one I'll go back into the gym and show you kind of what I do for my upper body and kind of how I adapt practice to when I'm doing that. So if there's anything you guys want to see, if there's somebody around kind of Wrexham area, kind of Denbighshire type area that wants to come and have a match or something like that, I'm more than happy to do that. See where everything's at and kind of have a bit of a friendly game for something. Just give us a shout, drop it in the comments, and we'll get something sorted. But for now, have a good weekend, and I will see you guys in the next one.